So I got a phone call from a client the other day who obtained a shapefile from his county. He imported the shapefile into Civil 3D and brought in the labels, but then he would go Xref the file into another drawing. Let me take this drawing right here. I'll just go to drawing 10. I've already got this going here. And Xref, and he would attach the drawing, and here is the file that was sent over. I'm just going to let it drop wherever it drops. And zoom extents, and you'll see that the road names do not come through. The road names are there in the original file. There they are. Okay. However, they do not appear in the Xref file. And the reason that is, let me go ahead and detach this because I'm going to need this drawing later. And the reason that is because of the way it was brought into Civil 3D. Let's go back to the original file here. If I bring up the map workspace, map W space, I see that he brought it in on its own map 3D layer. And map 3D layers do not transpose over to, they do not come over in an XREF, I should say. So how do I fix this? Well, let's first back up and see how he got here. Okay. So let me, I started a new drawing. Let me close this right here. I started a brand new drawing right here. I do not need this drawing anymore. In this drawing, I went ahead and did some things to expedite the process. I already brought in the shapefile. I did map import. Let me just show you how I did that. I connected to the shapefile. I assigned the drawing the same coordinate zone as the shapefile. The shapefile already had this in here. Then I went ahead and I said connect to the map data, object data, I should say. So if I go object data and go create object data, I will see there's some fields here for me that I can use. So where are those fields coming from? Okay. Well, when you bring in a shapefile, the shapefile, when you get a shapefile, I should say, it should have a bunch of supporting files with it. Do not get rid of those supporting files. Those are needed. The database file right here drives what fields you see over here. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do it because it takes a while. I already did it here. Then I said import polygons as closed polylines, and I hit OK. And it brought in, let me cancel this real quick. It actually brought in this drawing, let's see, did it show it already? No, I already closed this drawing. Okay. It brought in over 35,000 pieces of line work, and it took about, in my example, it took about three minutes or so. Yeah, three and a half minutes. So I didn't want you wasting your time watching that. So there is the line work. Okay. And if you select on any line, you will see that it does have object data assigned to it. That object data, the OD is object data, is being read from that object data table. And if you look right there, there is a, where is it? Road name. Okay. So there is my road name. There, the data is in here. Okay. Now, one mistake people make is they do this. They begin a new drawing, okay, and they come over here and they attach map. Well, here I need to save that drawing first. Let me come back over here. Let me save this drawing. Save as, and we're gonna call this. I'm gonna call this one County Roads, okay. And then I'm gonna close it because I can't do what I need to do next with it open. Okay, so the mistake people make is they say, all right, I've got that drawing. Let me bring up the map workspace. Map W space is the command, and hit on to turn it on. And I'm going to come over here to the Map Explorer tab, and I'm going to attach the drawing that I have. So see, there's my county roads, and I hit OK. And then I run the current query, and I define it by saying location all. I want to bring in all my data, and I'm going to do a preview. And I'm going to execute that query, and zoom extents, and there they are. Okay, but I do need to bring in the roads, the road names. I'm going to go define now. I'm going to go alter properties and go select text, and go to expression, and go select object data. And I'm going to go select the road name. Where's my road? There it is, road name, and I'm going to hit OK. I adjust the text height. I said 100. I click OK. I click OK, and I have to draw it in order to see it. So I draw it, and I hit execute, and you're going to see that it's going to bring in the line work and all the road names. But this is, again, this is the wrong way. Well, in this example, this is what we do not want. Okay, there's no right or wrong way. It's just what is it that you want. It is taking some time, and as you can see, there are all my road names. Like I said, it's not what I want. All my road names are going left to right when I want them to follow the road. Okay, so how do I get them to follow the road? Let's go ahead and close this drawing here. Okay, and let's go back to my county roads drawing. So let's come back open and open up the county roads drawing. Okay, so I've already proven to you in this drawing that the object data does exist. So how do I get that object data in here? Well, I'm going to bring up the map task pane, map W space at the command line. Remember, it's already open because I opened it in my previous drawing, but if you don't have it open, it's map W space, and I'm going to turn it on. Okay, and just for clarification purposes, so we're not crowded here, I'm going to turn off my Civil 3D tool space. I can always bring that back up by hitting the Civil 3D tool space button up here. Okay, so I'm just closing off the Civil 3D tool space so I have some room here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the map, the Display Manager tab. Sorry, not the Map Explorer, the Display Manager tab. I'm going to find the Data Connect button. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go select the item to add drawing data from a drawing layer. But before I do that, let me show you something. These roads come in on the layer called Road. Every single one of these roads came in on a layer called Road when I brought it in, because when I did the map import, let me just show you. Map import, I should have done this earlier, but that's okay. Map import, and I go select the roads, and I go right over here to right there, the drawing layer. It's already going to bring it in on that layer. That's predefined from the object data. I can change that to another layer if I want. Okay, so that's where it's coming in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go connect to the data, add drawing data from a drawing layer, and I'm going to go select the road layer, and I'm going to click OK. And it's going to assign the data there. Now that I have it there, I must stylize it. So I'm going to come over here onto the road layer. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go add style. And I'm going to go select add text. Okay. And it's going to process and do its thing. So let's just wait. All right. And there it is. Okay. So now that I have that text style, I'm going to come right over here to text style, and I see I can assign all this data on all my road names, and it is in there somewhere, but I'm going to change the text height to 100 right now. Okay, and the text label, the value, I should have done the text label first. The value for the text label, it's still processing the text height. Sorry, the value for the text label, cancel that. I want to hit this button right here. I want to go to the object data, road, and go select road name and click OK. And again, this is just this example. So your object data table may have some other information depending on who created it for you. And as you can see, it's populating the road names. It's also rotating them to the road and assigning them what I need. So we're halfway there. Okay. This rotation, I don't want to mess with that in this case because it's using this code here to say, oh, angle yourself to the road. So there it is. The justification, it's centered on the road, so be it. You may want to play with those justifications before as you work with this. The nice thing is you can always close this down, come back over here to the text style, right click and go back to properties and edit this in the design area later. Okay, I'm sorry, the design area being the display tab. If you select this, there we go. You got to bring up properties and then select this again. So you can always edit this later. Okay, so there's the layer it's going to be on, and so on and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to take everything as is from here. Okay, and now we're back to the beginning. The problem I have though is this is on layer road. This is also on layer road. And when I xref this in, I lose the road names. So how do I fix this? Now we get into Map 3D. There's a tool in Map 3D that does this for us, because otherwise when I xref this in, I lose all my road information. So to do this, I'm going to switch over to the Planning and Analysis tab, or if you're already in Map 3D, you should find it using the Map 3D ribbon, okay? Once I'm in the Planning and Analysis tab, I'm going to head over to the Output tab. And in the Output tab, there is Current Map to Drawing. Okay, you can type that in, Map Export Current Map to Drawing, but that's why I came all the way over here to hit this button. I'm going to click this button right here, and it's going to ask me, where do I want to save this file? I'll put this right up here on my C drive, a demo. I'm going to call this one roads with names. Okay, I'll hit save, let it do its thing. This will take a second or so because it's got a lot of processing to do. We'll just wait a second. All right, I did pause the video and I let it do its thing. It took a couple of minutes or so, but it finally exported out. And as you can see, I now have a road with names drawing. So let's go take a look at that now. Okay, so let me go open road with names. And there is my road with the names. Okay. Problem. As you can see, the names are grouped with the labels. So I cannot change, I cannot come over here and change the layer name because they're all on road 1. If I change road 1, everything changes. So what happens is it groups the labels with the object that they belong to. Okay. So what I have to do is ungroup. I'm going to use the ungroup command and select all and let it do its thing. And again, with the magic of pausing, it brought in the 35,671 groups. It's going to explode them as I see here. That whole process took roughly about 2 minutes, just so you know, in my area here. And now it's exploding all of those groups, and as you can see, they are done. Now I have all my roads separate entities from my text. Okay. So, however, again, I see they're on the same layer. As you can see, let me go to the Home tab. They're on the same layer. So let's separate the text from the rows. Okay. I'm going to use the QSelect command. QSelect, and I'm going to go through my entire drawing and find any text who basically select all the text here. I'm going to click OK. And it's going to go through and find every text. Now, let's see. There is a problem here. It found 35,671 items. Okay. The problem is on your end right now. You're probably finding that when you go to the properties dialog box now, because that's where I'm going to go next, if you have the properties dialog box open, you're going to see that it says no objects selected. Let this thing populate. Come here. Okay. You're going to see that it says up here no objects selected. And the reason that is happening is because you have a project limit, an object limit that your software is pre-programmed to have. Okay. So what you got to do is go to prop obj limit. That's the command. Property object limit. Prop obj limit at the command line. You change that value to 0. By default, it's 25,000, which means when you select something in your drawing, it can only pick up to 25,000 items. Okay? You change that to 0, and then when you run the QSelect command again, it's going to find it's going to go beyond the 25,000 and find them. So let me go and do the QSelect command again and hit OK. And now my properties dialog box will be populated with the data that I need here. And at this point, when it's done populating here, at this point, I'm going, oh, sometimes you got to switch tab and back. Well, no, it's still populating. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to edit the text. I want it to be something that's annotative so I can work with it. Okay. Let it come through. And there it is. So I've got all the text selected. First and foremost, I'm going to put it on a new layer. Let's just put this on 0 for now. Okay. I would change that layer to something later, of course. Yes, we never draw on layer 0. Okay. And I'm going to change the style to annotative. So every text in this drawing that I have selected is now going to be annotative. And let it finish that. And then from here, I'm going to pretty much leave everything as is. I'll change the scale later. Paper text height is 100. Model text height, I can't change anyway. It's set up to there because it's annotative. Rotation, I'm sorry, match orientation to object. Make sure that says no in this case because I'm doing roads. Depends, of course, on what type of shapefile you're bringing in. Okay, so now that I have that there, they're on layer 0. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to change the roads layer or road 1 layer to, we'll just use red for now. Okay, and there's all my roads separate from my text. And yes, my text, if I change my annotative scale, let's change this to like 1 to 50. Let it do its thing. And as you can see, my scale changes and all my labels change, good, bad, or ugly. So let's change this back to 1 to 1 real quick. And there we go. Okay. So I may need to go and check out my style, my annotative style, and change the height here on my annotative. And I want paper text height to be something like 0.125, an 1/8 inch. Hit set current and hit close just so I have it. Let's see if that affects any of the items I have. Probably doesn't because up there they are. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, it's showing me the 1 to 50 scale. I'm sorry when I click on that. So let's just select any one of these. I just need to see the preview here. Paper text height. There we go. Paper text height should be 0.125. Sorry. There we go. And so therefore it is going to appear properly when I xref in there. So let's do the QSelect again. QSelect. Go through my entire drawing. Find any text. Well, let's go find all text. Let it populate. Okay. It selected all my text, and the reason I'm being flooded is because of that 1 to 50 scale I changed it to, or I added to my text. That's okay. Let's go ahead and change this text height right here, paper text height to 0.125. Hit enter and let that change throughout the drawing. And as you can see, there it is. So you may or may want to play with that to your liking. With that said, I can now change the scale. Let's go to like a 1 to 50 scale. And there you go. It changed in height. Okay, so let's just leave it with that there. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this file again. And now Now I have the ability, let's come over here to a blank drawing real quick. Now I have the ability to xref the file, rows with names, populate, let it do its thing, close this out, and change the scale to like 1 to 50. Oh, you know what I did do? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, did I save this drawing? I think I did, yeah. So now as I change the scale, it comes in and there it is. All right. I hope this helps.